consumer that's underserved today in the OEMs, in the Android ecosystem, that's looking for productivity, security, privacy, all these things that we do. And we've added those features into the Android experience that we've provided. But other than that, we have kept the experience for Android very close to stock. Okay? Now, there is a reason why we did that as well. Because that gives us the ability to upgrade the software much faster. Okay? And I will talk about that when we cover the security aspects and where we come in from an ecosystem perspective. Okay? So that's the first thing. There are a couple of things which I will demo later on here. 3 things that we've done for productivity specific consumers in mind. One is pop-up widgets. So how many of you here are Android users or have used an Android device? Put your hands up. The rest are iPhone? Or maybe you're shy. So, I mean, you guys will be familiar with widgets, right, on an Android device. And widgets are great, but they take up a lot of space on your app screen, right? So this is widgets on demand. You have the widgets when you want it, and it goes away when you don't want it. Okay, so that's one. The second thing that we've done is productivity tab. So it doesn't matter whether you're browsing or whatever you're doing, you can always access the most important things at the swipe of the screen. And essentially, that gives you access to calendar, contacts, emails, and tasks as well. Okay? And then the final thing are the gestures. So on the bottom bezel, you'll be able to customize 2 of your most favorite apps on your device. So I'll do this demo later on and I'll show you that. So those are some of the things that we've done on the experience itself. But what you will see later on is that other than that, the experience for Android is very familiar. One other reason we do that is because we will clearly be targeting the existing Android users today. Okay? The people who need that productivity, security, privacy, those will be our target segment. And we wanted the experience for Android to be something that they're familiar with and seamless for them. Now, the other thing that you will see is that in the last 3 years, if you've used a BlackBerry 10 device, and some of you would have used a BlackBerry 10 device, we've talked to a lot of our consumers out there. Right? A lot of people who've used BlackBerry 10 device. And obviously, as Narendra has said, we've recognized, they say that one of the things that we lack is the apps. We want apps on your BlackBerry device. We love the productivity, we love the security, we love how you manage privacy, but we want apps, right? Now that we've got Android as part of our BlackBerry experience, that's going to be there. So although apps is one thing that we've now sorted out, consistently, the BlackBerry Hub has consistently been at the top. Right? When we ask consumers today who are using a BlackBerry 10 device, the first thing that they say is, we love your hub. Because the hub, as the name suggests, is a place where all your conversations are. You actually, if you are somebody who is, the kind of profile that we're talking about, and most of you out here are like that. You're in multiple conversations, you're probably doing 3 things at the same time. You're in WhatsApp groups, you're in, Snapchat, you're in Facebook groups and so forth, and you're contributing to the group conversation and so forth. You want a place to have a proper place to have communication. And this hub has been known, well known in terms of the experience that we provide to our consumers for productivity, right? So this is exclusive to the Android experience from BlackBerry. That we've got the hub now on the Priv itself. It's something that we've got, and I'll show you some demos on. So that's the first thing. On the hardware side, you will notice that we've got a really stunning display on Priv. It's a 5.4-inch dual curve display. It comes with very high resolution, 2560 by 1440, high PPI. You will notice that the PPI and the resolution of the display is very familiar, right? Because it's the same display that Samsung S6 has, right? This is the same display. Comes with a Corning Gorilla Glass 4 for durability and so forth. Okay. Now, when we introduced this product many months ago, before this was launched, I would always introduce, and I've met many meetings, right? And I think we even met some of our partners here with the carriers, right? And when I introduced this product, I used to introduce this product just as a full touch device. Not many people expected what we were going to put on this device. Not many people realize that we could have fit a keyboard into this device, into a form factor that is so thin? Okay? For every time the customer's jaw drop and is in disbelief, and if I took a video of every customer that did that, I'd be a very rich man today. Okay? So we've got a keyboard, but we've not put in a normal, just any normal keyboard. This keyboard that we've got is a touch-enabled keyboard. Okay? So that gives you the ability to have all the gestures that we used to have, okay, on our keyboards. They will all be available on this device itself. The scrolling and so forth. Now you will notice as you play around with the device that the balance in this device is fantastic. That is not by chance, right? The only reason why we've done that is to ensure that when you type with this device, you feel comfortable with this device. Okay? Now, you would imagine that a product this thin, that a manufacturer would have to compromise on something. Okay? And typically what happens, they compromise on battery. So before I get to that, the camera, right? So on the camera itself, some of you may have read the article by DxO, and I don't need to go through this because a third party has done it for us. DxO has rated the BlackBerry Priv camera to be the best, one of the best in all the industry. Okay, it's got 82 marks for camera quality, and that's because of the 18 megapixel camera that we've got, optical image stabilization. It comes with a dual flash, a lens manufacturer from Germany, and so forth. Right? So have a look at the article from DxO. That gives you a very good idea of what the camera can do. Now, as I was saying, right? With the battery, what would you expect on this device? Sub 3,000, right? Most manufacturers today go with 2,800, for example. I'm happy to say that we've added still a 3410 milliamp battery. This is as close as we can get to a BlackBerry Passport battery. Can you imagine us fitting a 3410 milliamp battery into a form factor this thin? On top of the fact that we've got an 18 megapixel camera, a touch-enabled keyboard, a dual curve display, we've managed to fit a big battery as well. And unlike other manufacturers who start to remove the memory card slot, this device comes with 3 gig RAM on board. It's got a 32 gig memory space on board the device, but it still comes with an expandable memory card slot. And it supports up to 2 terabyte. I know there isn't a 2 terabyte micro SD card yet. I think the highest is a 1 micro SD or 1 terabyte, but I think it will come. There is no 2 terabyte micro SD as I know. Okay? So that's 2. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before I go into the demo is then the security and privacy on the device. Now, the first thing to take note is this. There are 2 ways of doing security on the device. You can do it from the ground up, or you can do it as an afterthought. Most manufacturers would do it as an afterthought. Okay? When we did this device, from the ground up, 2 years ago, when we decided to go Android, security, privacy, and all that was already part of the DNA and part of the original design for this product. Okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing about security is that there is no such thing as a silver bullet. There is no one thing that you do that makes the device more secure. Security is about doing many things, many different layers, from the hardware to the operating system, kernel, to the application layer, and to the network infrastructure, the BAS12 implementation, and so forth, that makes the entire solution secure. Okay, and I'll cover a few things here. One is the hardware. So the device is tamper resistant. We actually, at manufacturing, will put a signing key into the chip itself. And then that basically ensures that you get the root of trust. It's the same technology that we've had with the BlackBerry OS device, or the BlackBerry 10 device that we've had before. It's the same thing that we've done. Right? That ensures that it is going to be very difficult to try and root this device on the hardware side. On the software side, on the operating system itself, we have put in our own custom version of Android. We have put modifications onto the Android software itself to make it more secure. Right? A lot of it is done proprietary by us. Okay? Now, on top of security, on the OS itself, one of the things that is really unknown to a lot of people is this. Google actually releases software patches for security almost every month. Okay? I can guarantee you today, any of your Android manufacturers that you review today don't care about them. Because what they care about is price and time to market. Right? They will launch whatever comes and then they forget about software updates thereafter. Okay? We've committed in the industry to do a software patch on the Android platform every month. Okay? Every time Google releases their software patch for the Nexus software, we will be putting that onto our devices. Okay? And the proof is this. We launched this device globally in the end of November. So it's probably about 2.5 months, 3 months. We've already had globally one software update for all our consumers globally. 80% of our consumers have already got the patch. Okay? So that's one. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to release the next software patch. There's a not software update. Okay? No Android manufacturer can do that. We are committing to do that. It's not just us. We're doing this together with our carrier partners. Because every time we release software, the carrier has to approve and then we release it. Okay? If you read the article from the Register from the UK where the professor talks about the Android upgrades, this is one single thing that you can do that makes your device more secure as well. And then the other thing that I'm going to show is a demo on DTEK. Essentially, DTEK is two things. It will allow you to do a security audit of your device to see how secure it is. It will also make you more aware of what your apps are doing. Okay, and I'll show it to you. So let me just go switch over to the device and I'll do a demo. Okay, so this is my Android device, and you will see that it's pretty standard in terms of the experience. Especially most of you who are too shy to say you've used an Android device before. For example, you get all your apps here. You can bring any app that you want to into the home screen, for example, and put that here. You get the notifications on the top, or the settings and so forth. Very similar experience that you've got. So let me show you three things. The first thing that I want to show you is the pop-up widget. So you'll notice that some of the apps actually have 3 dots at the bottom. So I just put the AccuWeather as a simple example, right? Now, what you could have done is that you could have done this. You could have put a permanent widget on your home screen, right? Now, if you use 10 widgets, then you need quite a lot of space, and you've got lots of home screens there, okay? So what you can do now is that instead of having a permanent widget, all you need to do is to flick an application that has 3 dots, and the widget comes up. Okay? But the minute you touch the device again, it disappears. So it's widgets on demand. Okay? The second thing that you will see is that, let's say for example, you're browsing on Facebook, right? You're engrossed in browsing, and as you're browsing, you decide, hey, what is my next calendar appointment? Okay, the last time I did this demo, I had people who were Manchester United fans. And that was a mistake, so I hope none of you are Manchester United fans. But so basically, as you're doing that and you want to know what's in your calendar, but you don't need to get out of Facebook anymore, right? Or browsing or whatever. All you need to do is just swipe from the left, and you can basically look at what's in your calendar, or if you want to contact, the most frequent contacts and so forth, they're all there at the swipe on the left edge. Okay? You can decide to change this edge any position that you want. Right? You decide maybe you want to have the thumb swipe. If you're left-handed, you can change it on your left hand and so forth. Alright? The other thing is just gestures, so you can have gestures or your 2 favorite apps, and then by doing that, you can just swipe up to do that. So that's the first thing that I want to demo, some of the neat little tricks that we've done But other than that, you will notice that I've got the Play Store in there. So if you are an Android user today, switching to a Priv would be almost, it would not say be almost, it would be seamless. All the apps that you have would automatically be there on Priv. It would work without a problem. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you the hub. So as you can see from here, the hub is a place where all your conversations are. So you notice that I've got emails, Facebook. If I had set this device up for WhatsApp, there would be WhatsApp in here, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the different conversations, email, call logs, and so forth, right? And you can do all kinds of settings on your device, and you have all your conversations in here. I'm just going to show you one simple thing on this one, which is a cool trick that we've done. Now, if you get all your emails in here, now I can talk a lot more about Hub, but let's just show you one simple example. Now, if I were to swipe left, the usual thing is to delete, right? Now, what we can do is we can also swipe right. And the new feature on Hub is a feature called Snooze. Okay? So take, for example, I'm watching a Liverpool game on a Saturday in a pub, right? I'm watching a game, and Narendra sends me an email about work. And he's an important person for me. I need to reply, right? But I'm half drunk on a Saturday evening. I can't be replying to a work email on a Saturday evening, right? I know it's important. So what do? I say snooze the email, right? Now I could snooze it based on time. But what happens if on Monday I'm too hungover to come up and be in the office at 9 a.m., right? So take for example, I could snooze based on location, or the easier one is to snooze based on location or on connection. So take for example on Monday morning, I waltz into the office at 11 a.m., right? My hangover is over. The minute the device touched the office Wi-Fi, it will know that this message that I snooze based on Wi-Fi would come up, and Narendra's message would come up at the top of the hub. So when I get into office, I sit on my desk, those emails that I snooze would be able to act on it now. So this gives you the ability to contextualize all your messages, all your emails. You can say stuff that you need to act on when you're at home, you snooze it and have a Wi-Fi at home, and when you're in office, you do that. Right? It's a really cool trick that we've done for productivity itself. Now, the other thing that I want to show you is the email. So, take for example, I'm going to type an email here. Okay? So, you notice that this keyboard that you have, if you have used a full-touch BlackBerry device, this is the same BlackBerry keyboard that we've got. All the features, and when we launched the BlackBerry keyboard 3 years ago on the Z10, it was already rated one of the best keyboards in class, right? So we've kept the same keyboard here. Now, for most of you, especially most of you out there, you do a lot of editing, either on Word, PDF, you type your report and so forth, right? A lot of times, as you're typing, you want to be able to read what you've written at the top. This is the only device that gives you the most real estate on your glass, right? Because every device, even a BlackBerry full-touch device, will always suffer from this one-third problem. That one-third of your screen will be occupied by the virtual keyboard. This is the only device that gives you the ability to say, hey, I need the full screen for typing. Right? And the keyboard disappears, it is still there. Now you'll notice that there are 3 words at the bottom because I can still use the email, I can use gestures to do that, I can still type. And as you know, the keyboard and the tactility and all the sculpted keys and all that, it's a black art. Right? Everybody knows the experience on a BlackBerry keyboard is second to none. Okay? Now, so you can do that, and you can essentially use the same gestures to delete apps and so forth. Okay? Delete words, or you can review symbols and so forth into the device. Now, the other thing that you can do is this. Right? You notice that if you're browsing on the internet, you can actually use your keyboard as a scroller. Or if you're editing, this keyboard acts like your touchpad on your laptop. Your touch, because it will give you fine cursor control as well. Right? But I like this feature because if you're an in a bus or you're in a train, for example, and you want to be able to scroll, this is a really good scroller, right? And it's great scroller, especially when you're browsing the internet, because if you use your thumb to do it, a lot of times you will accidentally click on a link and the browser brings you to the next page, and then you have to come back again, right? With a scroller, you will never get this problem. Okay. The camera, I think basically try it out later on. I just have one last app to show you, and that is DTEK. Okay, so DTEK is going to come preloaded on all Privs, and it's free of charge. Okay, so it's an app here. Now, the first thing that you will do, there are only two simple things I would just say that you will do. One is that it will essentially audit your device and make sure that it is secure. It will tell you whether your device is, of course, as usual, green is good, red is bad. Right? Simple, any consumer will understand this. But more importantly, it will tell you what you can do to make your device more secure. So if I were to take action, let's say take a recommendation to do a screen lock, right? Simply it goes green. Now if your device, you left it at home and then it got rooted, for example, I guarantee you it will show up here. Okay? So it monitors your security level of your device. It will also then give you things, recommendations that you can do. So this is one thing. The other thing which is quite cool is this. When you download apps on your Play Store or even your iOS store, the app developer will always tell you, I want permission, as an app developer, I want permission to access your contacts, your call logs, your location, your microphone, whatever. How many of you actually read them? I don't, right? Because when I want the app, I just accept, that's it. I don't read what I want. Now, with this app, what you can do is that you can actually see what are the apps. I've only downloaded 3 apps on this demo device, okay? So just to demonstrate, right? AccuWeather and Facebook is accessing my location. And I'm fine with that. Weather, because I want to know what weather in LA is and so forth. Facebook, because I do check it. But Flashlight. So Flashlight is an app that is a free app, which I downloaded on Play Store. What you will notice that it is actually assessing 2 things, location and microphone. Really strange. Okay? Now if you go into the app itself, you will be able to see how many times it accessed my location. 56 times. Maybe I'm not so concerned now, right? But I'm a bit concerned when it's also accessing my microphone. What does a flashlight need to use and record on my microphone for? Okay, now if you drill down a bit deeper, you can actually go in and see what are the things that when did it use the microphone, at what time, what location, and how long. Okay? So take for example, I'm in Singapore, earlier this week, 12 seconds it was recording. I did this demo for a government body in Singapore, and I did this demo. And when I finished the demo, all of them were pretty scared, okay? Something is wrong with this app. Okay, I'm not bad-mouthing this app, I'm just using it as an example, okay? So what you can do on this device is that with DTEK, you can now set it up such that I want DTEK to tell me every time the app is accessing my microphone. Right? So the next time the app does that, on your notification bar, it will say that it will allow you to